Robert Randall here with another cool guitar. This one, I've had this now, I got it at some point during the pandemic, just as a project to work on, because I've always loved Vega guitars and banjos and mandolins from afar, and this is my first chance to mess around with one, and what a cool one it is. I forget the model number. I'll put it, I'll look it up after, or while I'm editing this, I'll put it here. But it's also a little bit of a guess, because it's not like these are labeled. And so I've looked at comparable instruments, and I've ascertained that it is this. But it's so much more, because this is, I've never seen one of these Vegas quite like this. This is a, well, we know this. It's a Duo Tron, because it says it right here. I'm not sure what Duo Tron meant to Vega, because most of the Duo Trons I've seen have one pickup. And there's similar ideas. Whenever Gretsch used Duo, it usually meant two pickups. I don't know. Vega's a weird company. I could go on for a long time about what weird things Vega did. But I digress. What's unique about this guitar is Vega had their own early electronics that they would use, these that they made in-house as far as I know, and very interesting things where the volume and tone would be on this cool tailpiece, and they had sort of just like a piece of metal, and I think it was it must have been a single coil pickup that was mounted into their pickguards in various different ways. They were working it out along with everybody. Vega did all kinds of crazy experiments in the early days of electric guitars, or at least commercial electric guitars. And from what I can tell, this guitar is from, I don't know. I don't know if this is what these numbers mean, but it makes sense to me. It says 4715. I assume that's the 15th week of 1947. It's certainly not a 1915 guitar. And 47 sounds about right for not only this pickup that's in here, or roundabouts, but also for these wonderful and strange Lucite tuners. I'll do a close-up of the Lucite tuners here. And Lucite is such a great early mid-century material, or mid-century in general. I guess, yeah, people were using Lucite well into the 60s and continue to, but it feels like it was this new, exciting thing, late 40s, early 50s. And that's what caught my eye about this guitar, because it's so rare you see these kinds of tuners. I imagine they only made them very briefly, and they're huge and bizarre. I don't know. I liked them, and it has this wonderful pickup. What are these called? So these are either like these Duo filtered. These are called Diamond. That name. And from what I can tell, I'm no expert at this, this looks like a very old one to me. So I don't know if somebody got this guitar early on and it was set up normally like a Vega would be, with Vega pickup and Vega electronics, and then somebody changed this tailpiece and added this pickup at some point. Or I don't know if someone ordered this newfangled pickup from Vega, and they were like, okay, let's bolt it on one of these Duotrons we have, and we'll put... I don't know. And it's sort of an unknowable question. I will say there were some extra holes, or there was... I think there are. It's been a while since I had this tailpiece off. It led me to believe that this was not the original tailpiece when I had it off. When I got this guitar, it was not particularly playable. It was advertised as playable. I got it too good of a deal, it turns out, because there were all kinds of problems with it. And so the action was like, I don't know, like almost a quarter inch. Not quite, that's an exaggeration. More like an eighth of an inch off the fretboard. And there was a lot of relief in the neck, and and this inlay up here was missing, the star inlay, which is, you know, the big Vega thing. They were wonderful and quixotic with their inlay choice, and But the star was their signature for, I don't know, probably 50, 60 years of their manufacturing instruments. It was missing its Vega star, and so I endeavored to fix it. Oh, also, there was no string ground. There were these electronics here, but no string ground, and so through an existing hole, I was able to run a string ground. I cut a new bridge top, but I also kept the original bridge top because I didn't want to cut down that original bridge top. If at some point someone wants to do a neck reset on this and put the original bridge top on, though I don't see why, there's no... I cut it so it doesn't... The screws don't scratch your hands or anything, and it's got a lot of break angle. So it's playing great with this new bridge top. Oh, and I replaced the star. I couldn't find an adequate plasticky celluloid kind of material to match this old, what I assume is celluloid. I don't know. I don't know what this material they used for inlay is. And so I got a piece of very white holly that matches quite well, I think. I was really happy with the way this little inlay turned out, and it's certainly much better than the gaping hole that was there. I think I have a little video I'll insert of me fixing that. I did fretwork on this guitar. I think that's about it. And now it's playing really, really, really great. The finish is in excellent condition. I'm going to unplug it so I can spin it around. This is beautiful, beautiful lacquer on it. And it's wonderful sunburst. You know, Vega were really, really great at spraying finishes. Their finishes are some of the most beautiful of this period, I think. Great, great stuff. There's a couple little finish repairs here by the knobs. There are a couple little spots that have some orangey kind of paint that matches okay from a distance. And there's a little chip right here where one's leg sits. Anything else? Otherwise, you know, there's the typical kind of checking, very, very subtle checking, which I find quite appealing. That would be typical of a guitar from this period, or a finish this old. Any other condition? Oh, there's a little ding in the finish up here on the peg head. The original, or from what I can tell, original pickguard. The celluloid, it's not off-gassing as far as I can tell. I had it off for quite a while because I was concerned it might be off-gassing. I don't think it is, but it has shrunk enough that it has a slight bow to it, but nothing that makes it be in the way or anything like that. If it were my guitar, I'd probably keep it with the pickguard off just because pickguards aren't my thing necessarily, but the option is yours. Oh, one other detail. As far as I can tell, I don't think this tone pot is doing anything. All the wiring, I pulled the wiring when I added the string ground, and all the wiring looked good. It's got a little ceramic capacitor on there. I don't know if I bothered to look at, I don't think there were dates on the pots, but they're really old pots. But they work good. They're pretty clean. Not a lot of noise in that pot. But yeah, if I'm playing, and I turn the pot, well, maybe there is a difference. I don't know. They're also a strange value, this pot. I didn't want to go messing with it because I didn't want to change. If these are original to the period, I don't want to go messing around with it. If you wanted pots and caps that did more and really, really bled off some tone, that's an incredibly easy thing for just about any luthier I know, or any guitar tech I've heard of can change that sort of stuff out. And so I elected not to change it, as that can be the player's choice going forward. Anyway, what a neat, interesting instrument. And the cool thing about Vegas, I think these are really slept-on guitars, and especially with this pickup, like, for a fraction of the cost of a Gretsch from the 40s, an electric Gretsch from the 40s, you can get this guitar. And honestly, I think it's a cooler guitar. I think this top, as an acoustic instrument, it's very responsive. It's us a nice thin top, big bodied arch top. That's just so stylish with these great tuners, and I think would be a wonderful, wonderful instrument for anyone who's into this sort of style of guitar. What a cool special thing. I mean, just imagine if you were going to buy a single pickup electric Gibson from the 40s. Like, it'd be significantly more expensive, and there are a lot of those. This is unique and very, very cool. It has a flight case with it. You can check out the listing on my reverb, RS Randall. If you search that, you should be able to find my reverb, or go to rsrandall.com, and there are links to my reverb and my Instagram where you can see all the guitars I build and repair. Thanks for taking a look.